Mario Kart World. Let's get into it. I want to say right off the bat, it is one of, if not the prettiest Mario Kart I've ever played, ever. Obviously, graphics wise, it's immaculate, it's amazing. You know, the Switch 2 really shines with Mario Kart World. It's just one of the best games I've ever played from the Mario Kart series, just based off of that. Of course, you know, performance wise, everything is great. Like anything that I talk from here on forward for the Nintendo Switch, it's obviously gonna pale in comparison to anything or any other console that Nintendo has ever like released. They're not known to be tech giants. They're not known to be, you know, that's not their main goal when it comes to coming up with a console. They've always focused on gameplay. They've always focused on their IPs and especially their console exclusives. And they almost never cared about the console. Nintendo's always been one step behind from the other console makers. But I feel that this is the first time that I've said, wow, I confidently will buy that third-party game on the Nintendo Switch 2 because it's a powerful piece of hardware. It's the most powerful piece of hardware Nintendo's ever made. If I'm not mistaken, it is currently the most powerful piece of handheld hardware out there in gaming. Yeah, going forward, I won't talk too much about the graphics because it's a given, you know, especially with console exclusives and first-party titles from Nintendo. But this game is just, it oozes character. It has so much charm packed into every character, costume, courses, and you know, the world as a whole. It's just one of the best Mario Karts out there, just based on that. Again, Mario has never kind of been lacking in the charm department, but one thing that I never did like about Mario Kart 8 is just how kind of bland it felt at times. Like it just felt like I was going through the motions with that game. I never felt any sort of attachment to any of the characters because there were so many, and a lot of the variations just kind of felt like unnecessary. Like, why do we get a rose gold Peach? Why do we get a gold Mario? Why do we get like all these random ass characters? They just felt like they were just shoo-ins, you know? And when it comes to Mario Kart World, they actually put thought into some of these characters and why they included them. And the characters have so much personality behind them. Not just because of the costumes, you know, Waluigi is my favorite one. All of his costumes are my favorite, especially I'm not gonna say it because it might be a spoiler, but one of them has to do with my Mexican ass, so that's the reason why he's one of my favorite characters in Mario Kart World. And you know, those little things, like they all felt they felt like they were there intentionally, like they were added to the game with an intention. In comparison to Mario Kart 8, they were just like, here, damn, like just added random people. You know, I just never liked some of the characters in Mario Kart 8. And again, the vehicles in Mario Kart 8, just they were lacking. Like they sometimes, and I'm a big proponent of this, less is more. Less is always going to be more. I appreciated Mario Kart 8 for giving you the option to choose your vehicle, choose your tires, choose your paraglider, and you know, the whole stats that go behind that and trying to find the meta and all that. That's all fine and dandy, but giving people too many options at times might work against you at certain times. And I feel Mario Kart 8 did that. I never felt attached to any vehicle at all because I had so many options. And I'm not saying there's not options in Mario Kart World, but because there's so much charm and there's a connection to every single car, to a character, to like a game or whatever it may be, there's that it's a lot easier to pick some of these vehicles and be like, this is my favorite vehicle of the whole game, or this is my favorite one because of the way it looks, because it's a whole package. It's just a vehicle. Like, you pick a vehicle, you don't pick the wheels, you don't pick the nothing. It's just the vehicle, and I appreciate that. I like that more than having to pick and like mix and match. It makes the game, like the vehicle, look messy when you give people the option to choose their tire, their paraglider, all that sort of stuff. So I kind of like that cohesion when it comes to that. Again, less is more, and it adds to the charisma, it adds to the charm of the game. It just adds personality to it. This also goes without saying, like, the music goes extremely hard. It is amazing. Mario Kart games have always gone incredibly hard when it comes to music. The Mario franchise in general does an amazing job to music, but this time it feels like they obviously they reworked all the songs for this specific game, and it just feels fresh. It feels new. Like the intro theme song gives it so much personality. Like as soon as I heard that harmonica, I was like, oh, they're going all out on like road tripping, you know. You go road tripping, you go traveling, you bump into a harmonica man that's like stranded, or like they run like a gas station in the middle of the desert on Route 66, and you get that western kind of like harmonica feel to it. That's what like I'm now tying Mario Kart World's personality to, you know, that road tripping feeling, that feeling of adventure, and I think that the theme song just knocked it out of the park with that theme. I love it. I love the harmonica. I love the kind of like rock and roll sort of nature. It's just, it again adds to the charm of the game. It's amazing. And all the songs, all the tracks, I have not heard a single bad track. Every single one of them has been a banger. Nintendo is just, they're masters at their craft, specifically when it comes to music. So 10 out of 10 in that department. This game also feels new in terms of gameplay mechanics and new skills such as wall riding and grinding. Just being able to explore the courses in different ways, like wall riding and grinding, opens up the possibilities like so much. You're now able to find shortcuts. You're now able to strategize a little bit more in certain parts of the courses, because maybe it's better for you to grind on this section because it might give you a boost, or it might give you a better angle to hit the next curve, or whatever it may be. Not being tied to just the road adds so much dynamism. Like it makes the game much more dynamic. It is incredible the stuff that people have been doing, and the clips that I've been seeing online of people wall riding into a grind, landing on top of other characters and then finishing first. Like, it's just incredible. It adds so much fun and so much wackiness and ridiculousness to this game, which I do really appreciate. But at the same time, it makes the game more enticing, more strategy. I want to say strategy based. Like, you really need to think about, okay, how am I gonna beat these people? How am I, like, do they know about these shortcuts, or you found a new shortcut or whatever? Like, it makes it easier for you to be more competitive, and it opens it up to anyone. Because honestly, I was very afraid of the grinding mechanics and the wall jumping and wall riding to be very difficult to do, much like in, for example, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It takes a certain skill to do that. But again, Mario Kart World makes it easy enough. You literally just have to hit the wall. You just have to land on top of a rail and you're grinding. You don't have to worry about balancing. You don't have to worry about losing speed. You don't have to worry about anything. It just goes. And the only skill that it takes is for you to be able to start that wall ride, start that grinding, and it makes it so much better. And also trying to see like what's the best option for that portion of the course. So it opens up the world in so many ways. It makes it very fun, wacky, you know, the stuff that we're used to with party games, quote unquote, from Mario. Just wackiness, ridiculousness, all out fun, and it makes the courses that much more interesting. And again, this also goes with the performance and the graphics. Like, it runs so smooth. It's the Switch 2. It's a powerhouse of a handheld, and Mario Kart World, it just impresses me that a game this size and of this caliber just runs like that, and it boots up so quickly. The courses boot up so quickly. Everything just works seamlessly. I haven't had an issue. I haven't had any crashes. Nothing. Not even glitches. I'm surprised so far that I have not like fallen out of the world or something. It's just it's a game. It has that Nintendo polish, is all I'm trying to say. It is not a disappointing game by any means in that term. It's polished to the grain. It's amazing. However, there are some issues with the game. It's not the perfect game, okay? No game is ever going to be perfect. A few of the things that I found extremely disappointing, some of the courses are too wide for their own good. I know that the developers are trying to fit 24 racers at a time in each course, but there are portions of certain courses where it's just a wide road with nothing in it. It's just barren. It's just a straight line or a few curves here and there. But it just feels like I found myself in certain times, if I'm way ahead, if I'm playing Grand Prix, if I'm way ahead from second place and I'm in first place, it's kind of boring because you're just riding by yourself. And it's such a huge road, that there's no obstacles, there's no challenge there, and there's nothing for you to like be wary about. There's nothing that you should be cautious about, and it does make the gameplay a little boring in those sections. I found them to just be a handful of courses that have this issue. Another thing that I forgot to talk about, which is not just Grand Prix but also Knockout Tour, is probably the best thing that Mario Kart could have added to their games. I just hope that in future updates, even if there's DLC, they include more courses, because I don't want to say that I've grown tired of these courses, but I feel like they should at least make it easy for you to design your own Knockout Tour. You know what I'm saying? But I feel that the only way for that to work is to add more courses, obviously. However, talking about modes that I don't like, free roam. Free roam has been disappointing. It makes the world seem barren. It sometimes feels very lonely, like I said, in these wide roads sections of, for example, the courses. That also happens in free roam. There's just barren land. You can find like little P switches that, you know, give you challenges and whatnot, and those are fun. Those are fine. Those are really fun to complete, and they can be challenging. I'll give them that. But besides that, and the coins, the medallions that you gotta collect, I'm just riding around. And a lot of these things are like, for example, being able to unlock all the costumes, you have to get these food bags, which is kind of like, you know, like the item boxes, but you know, it's just a bag of food, and it gives you a type of food item that you eat, and then it gives you a costume depending on what that food is and depending on the area where you're at. But there's no, like, you can just farm them. You can just grab one, unlock a costume, change character, wait, grab another one. Like, they respawn so quickly that it makes it a little bit boring. I would have preferred for the costumes to be discoverable. For example, in Donkey Kong Racing, you had areas to explore in the main world, in the overworld. Like, it made the overworld like a place you want to ride around. Like, because they would give you challenges. They would either give you, like, you would find secrets here and there. I would have preferred that way to unlock costumes than literally you just grabbing an item that you can literally grab in Knockout Tour races. There's no challenge in that. It doesn't make it exciting. It feels like not a chore, but more of a checklist. Like, oh, this costume is only unlocked if you grab a food bag in the cinema, Boo Cinema. You go and grab it with every single character. There, you unlocked it. Like, there's no challenge in that, and it makes it a little boring, and it makes the costumes lose kind of like their appeal. In a sense. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these costumes are really cool. I do like them. I like their design, but the being able to get them so easily, kind of like, okay, I didn't work for that. That was easy to get, you know? There's no challenge there. There's no secrets. There's no, I don't know. I would have just hoped that they would have approached the costumes the way you unlock them in a more creative way using free roam, because that would have made free roam more worth it. Adding NPCs would have been very helpful. Like, instead of just the P switches, why don't the NPCs, like Mario characters, give you some of these challenges? I don't know, add charm to it. Like, just clicking a button and then it just telling you what to do. I don't know, kind of it sucks, you know? But again, all in all, besides those two things, I love this game. This game, I've been obsessed with the game. I've been playing it nonstop ever since I was. One thing I will say, Nintendo, you did us wrong. Why did you give us the option to get the Nintendo Switch 2 at midnight in a lot of places, but you don't give us access to Mario Kart World until 2 a.m. my time, which is midnight PST? I got the bundle, so I would have been able to play that game at midnight on the day of release. But y'all still made me wait till 2 a.m. Central Time. So I wasn't able to download the game. Not even download the game. Like, I couldn't download it. The only thing I could do is click on it and it give me an error code. At least let me download it. But at the same time, they didn't give people access to download the game. If you had certain bundles, they didn't get the chance to download ahead of time until midnight Pacific Standard Time. I don't care about California. Shout out to my friends and family in California. I love the state, but I live in another part of the country. Why am I not able to get? Why is Europe being able to? Why are they playing this and I'm not? It just didn't make sense at all. So that was a huge, like, it dampened my experience of playing Mario Kart World. However, ever since then, ever since that first night, I've been playing it every single day. I want to say like 3-4 hours at least gameplay session. So it's been very fun. It's been very fun. I won't get into the whole pricing situation. Do I agree with the more expensive pricing? No, but what am I going to do? This is Nintendo. Like, they're a company. They're going to do what they're going to do. It's up to you whether you buy it or not. Do I think it's worth it? I do think it's worth it. I think it's one of the best Mario Kart's games out there. That's up to you. That's a very personal question. If you're willing to either buy the physical or the digital version for $80, or should you get the bundle and technically only pay $50 for it, even though you're buying a whole console? That's up to you. That's entirely up to you, listener, viewer. I won't judge you either way. That's entirely up to you. I don't care. I love this game. That's all I'm gonna say.